waited for this, the most awaited moment. We are deeply privileged to welcome our eminent and world-acclaimed chief guest, Dr. S.S. Iyengar, sir. So we eagerly invite you to enlighten us with your invaluable thoughts, experiences, and vision. So please.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me at the back? Thank you. Before I start talking about it, I would have missed this great opportunity to visit this wonderful campus. I think by the grace of God, I'm very happy that I'm here. This kind of time I've been traveling all around India.
Clip reels Martin. So మేము లైక్ బయట కార్పొరేట్ ఈవెంట్స్కి బర్త్డేస్కి మ్యారేజ్కి 10 minutes రీల్స్ చేస్తాం ఏరేనా అక్కడికి ఇచ్చింది ఏమి అకౌంట్
wonderful CEO. We have some discussions around the other
అకౌంట్
God said, no matter what happens, I think there is a destiny for me to come here with this great institution. And also I'll tell you all the institutions I've seen in the last 5-6 months, over 100 institutions in India. Northwest and also some of the IITs and Institute of Science. But this campus is about the best campus that I've actually visited. For two reasons. One, traditionally I've been in America for about 55 years. So in a typical campus, whenever I was a leader in so many places, at the University of Chicago, the most interesting thing I always would like to see, walking around, going to classes and going to different buildings. That's what it means that I built in my life, and at the end I see that, oh my God, at least something good has come. There are thousands of students walking around, and that kind of a thing kind of reflected to me by just sort of coming inside the campus with so many students. I know Mrs. Chaturya, so and all the administrators and the leaders who played a very significant role in building and members of the management, honorable principal, distinguished faculty, esteemed industrial leaders, dear students and ladies and gentlemen. It is a very great honor and a pleasure to be here at Nagarjuna College of Engineering, Devanahalli, as the chief guest for the CI candidates applications. Things AI can help us to move forward. Now, I worked on artificial intelligence for 30 years with many great leaders of the country in the United States and around the world. So, artificial intelligence is no longer a futuristic concept, confined to research laboratories. It has a task. The important thing is, I was kind of presenting that in a conference and very early form of AI evolution. Over the time, with advances in machine and computational power, AI systems began to learn patterns from data and adapt to changing environment and make predictions. It has become famous because it is very precise in observation. So today we stand at the intersection of data-driven intelligence, cognitive computing and autonomous systems. So that is the right. So I'll give you an example here. I was traveling from San Francisco to Los Angeles. I'm standing at the San Francisco airport, as usual, to look for a connection to go to Los Angeles. I never wanted to fly, I didn't want to drive. So at that time, I thought, let me actually have a guy on the right side of it. All of a sudden, I said, let me book a Uber. The Uber came, and the Uber came with no driver inside the car. This is the record kind of response. Sir, there is no driver in this car. And so then he said, please come and see. We traveled from San Francisco all the way to reached on time. And first in the beginning, I was very reluctant. We were in the United States rather than here. And it was beautiful. So what is the 28 year now? This is all kind of AI-driven autonomous vehicle. So there is one simple example I can tell you. In the next maybe 3 or 4 5 years, we will have all over the world vehicles with no drivers, which is being driven by AI. So the future of AI will not merely be about faster algorithms or larger models. It is about intelligent collaboration between humans and machines. So that's why I say this conference, what all of you are doing, investing in human capital, how we can exploit the basic idea of intelligence into many of these machines. So AI is also kind of an enable access domain. For example, the future of AI lies in its applications across every aspect of society. And I'm sure you must have heard, and most of you have heard of a system called Alexa, a beautifully driven, AI intelligent machines. It is an assistant to human beings. I mean, Alexa, if you really have used it, it is about the best AI technology that you can see. Now, in healthcare, also early disease in robotics-assisted surgery and mental health care monitoring. So, AI-driven diagnostics have become very common, and which has allowed all the doctors to move from what we call as a reactive treatment to preventive and predictive care treatment, significantly improving the quality of life, reducing the healthcare costs also. In education, that's what I think this university is all about. Now, AI will enable personalized learning paths tailored to each student's abilities, pace, and so there are what are called as intelligent tutoring systems, virtual laboratories, and AI mentors have become very, very common, which has improved the highest quality in every type of education that we can see in the United States and all around the world. But it is not kind of replacing teachers, but it is kind of empowering faculty with AI tools. And I'm sure with some of the AI tools that we have been using will be assisting in doing a much better teaching than the traditional teaching. Now, engineering and manufacturing, AI-driven automation, I already gave you, digital twins, predictive maintenance, and intelligent supply chains. We all define and redefine the productivity and efficiency. Smart factories are very important nowadays because all of the things that we are looking at adapting to real time, maximizing the sustainability. So these are very, very important in designing the AI smart factory. Now in agriculture, we are really optimize when I was a professor, we wanted to increase the rice growth. Whenever there is a lot of rain, the rice plants, they get kind of infected with the diseases. So we can predict much ahead of time, cold weather, we can maximize the production. So precision agriculture followed by AI will be essential to address between the climate change that is taking place and the resources scarcity. Now, AI, society, and the ethical responsibility. So, they often come with some significant responsibilities. The future of AI must be guided by ethics. Number one, transparency. say that that is not going to work in future, and good for the commodity. So this can only happen 3D design, all using AI tools. So privileged and underprivileged. Okay. Academic institutions of AI to the students get
and try to apply for this funding for developer through Government of India. So for solving the societal problems, remember, if your problem statement is in such a way that it is going to address the burning problem of the society, 200% you will going to get the support, financial support for solving this. And definitely, so if you are going to work on a real-time problem, so it is really going to help not only the society and also you will going to see the real happiness in doing the research. It's not just, research is not just limited to producing papers. So now the research is helping the society and helping the community. So if your solution is going to help some of the public, so that makes you more satisfied than having a patent or having a publication, some 10 to 10 publications in your name. So in this direction, the Government of India and as well as the state governments started funding the research problems, where these research problems are going to help in solving the societal problems. So with this few words, so once again I thank the management of this organization. And remember, so your institution is one among the 10 institutions selected across India for organizing this. So you must be happy to know that you are one among those top 10 institutions in the country, especially for organizing this AI Summit. And I am very happy because I could see the great personality, the visionary, and also the person who has given his life for this AI and considered as AI Pitamaha, who is also part of this particular pre-summit. And I think it is fitting this one, the occasion, and also it is the right, he is the right person to be part of this particular activity. And I hope your institution in the days to come, as a sir was before this program, so we were having a discussion during that time. Sir was expressing a lot of things. I was really surprised, even at this age, the kind of enthusiasm he is having towards the institution and also towards our younger generation is amazing. I think we are, openly saying, so we are nothing in front of him. So he is so busy, and he has openly expressed that is going to get a connect with your institution in the days to come, especially in this AI related activities. I hope the faculty members of this institution are really fortunate because such a person has come to your doorstep, and I think it's a great opportunity. You should not miss this. And that too, your institution is having all AI related branches. I think more than 50% of the engineering seats of this college are related to AI, data science, machine learning, cyber security, means all emerging area related programs are running. And I think that number of students who are studying in this emerging area related branches are more, and definitely it is going to be a boon for the faculty members and also the students of this institution to have the knowledge of Iyengar, at least in this era of AI in the days to come. I hope so. I am going to see the name Nagarjuna College of Engineering, especially whenever we talk about AI. At least your college should appear in that for doing some wonderful things, maybe in the form of research or finding a solution for the societal problem. I hope all of you will do something in this direction and make this particular institution proud, and above all, make this state and make this country proud. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Your invaluable thoughts on education, technology, and the growth of society have deeply motivated and enlighten all of us. And of course, guiding, inspiring, all through opportunities to everyone. So it was so inspiring. Thank you once again. So I request all the audience to give a big round of applause. Institution right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request the team to play a video, AI video trailer, so which is a honor to Dr. S.S. Iyengar, sir. So kindly watch. Thank you.
Focusing. సర్లే బ్రదర్ ఈ సైడ్ ఆ సైడ్
Mind of the thinking machine. Mind of the thinking machine. Every revolution begins quietly with a question no one else dares to ask.
It is my distinct honor tonight to recognize the man who pioneered this field. I am incredibly proud to accept this honor on behalf of the scientific community.
Hemingway, 1947, Key Nasikura.
Sir, I want to see how they think in time.
Long before algorithms, before AI or cyber forensics, there was curiosity, the purest form of intelligence. He built more than algorithms. He built thinkers, generations of minds who would shape the next century. It wasn't just about machines. It was about trust between systems, between people, between truth and data. Over 650 publications, 32 books, one vision to teach the world to think differently. Coming soon, the visionary Dr. S.S. Iyengar.
Now I request all the dignitaries to have your presence on the dais.
ఎన్ని హైట్ పెంచి కూర్చుంటాం నాకు ఏమో తెలుసు ఎంత ఎక్స్టెండ్ అవుతుంది
Thank you so much. Please give a big round of applause for such a wonderful new inspired to Dr. S.S. Iyengar, sir. I now invite our visionary Chief Operating Officer, Mrs. Bhanu Chaitanya ma'am, Nagarjuna College of Engineering and Technology, Bengaluru, to deliver the presidential address and share insightful guidance with this gathering.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, distinguished guests, faculty members, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, good morning all. It is a privilege to be here for this regional AI Summit organized in alignment with the Indian India AI Impact Summit 2026. I am proud and I congratulate NCDT for taking this important step to prepare our region and our institutions for India's AI-driven future. Today, I would like to share my thoughts using the three pillars, the guiding principles of the India AI Impact Summit. Firstly, the first pillar, AI for people. This pillar clearly states that technology must serve humanity. In simple words, AI should help people respect Indian values and include everyone. It must be human-centered, safe, fair, and trustworthy. We already see strong Indian examples in healthcare, in education, and of course for inclusion. AI-powered speech-to-text tools support students with hearing impairments and vision aids, help the visually challenged. So the simple message here is, people come first and technology comes next. The second pillar is AI for Earth. The planet pillar focuses on sustainability, which is deeply rooted in our Indian culture. AI should not harm nature. Instead, it should help us protect the environment and fight climate change. Indian examples include in agriculture, AI-based weather prediction helps farmers plan sowing and irrigation, reducing water wastage. In climate and pollution monitoring, AI systems are being used in Indian cities to track air quality and issue health advisories. In energy management, AI helps optimize power usage in smart grids and supports India's renewable energy goals. In short, AI must care for Mother Earth and not exploit her. And the third pillar is the progress pillar, AI for inclusive growth, which I think in India it has a large impact. This is the most impactful pillar. The progress pillar highlights inclusive national development. AI should help India grow together, urban, rural, rich and poor. Its benefits must reach every section of the society. We can already see this. AI supports rural healthcare through telemedicine and disease prediction. AI-based education reaches remote villages through digital classrooms. In agriculture, AI improves crop yield and increases farmer income. And in governance, AI supports digital public service, faster grievance redressal, and better public positions. AI must be a tool for inclusive growth and social equality. To conclude, these three pillars, people, planet, and progress, give India a clear and ethical, practical roadmap for the future of AI, artificial intelligence. As educators, policy makers, students, and leaders, our responsibility is to ensure that AI developed in India is rooted in Indian values, inclusive and sustainable, and a force for national development. I am confident that this regional AI Summit will generate valuable ideas and recommendations that will contribute meaningfully to the India AI Impact Summit 2026. Let me conclude with an inspiring thought. When technology is guided by values, it becomes a force for national transformation. Let us work together to build AI that truly serves people, protects the planet, and accelerates India's progress. Jai Hind, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We sincerely thank you for highlighting the true essence of Indian values, where people come first and technology follows as a tool to serve humanity. Ma'am, your insights on education, healthcare, AI systems, and the role of AI in protecting our environment has truly enriched us. So we are deeply grateful for your guidance and inspiration. So once again, please give a big round of applause. So now we have come to the end of the inaugural event. To express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who have assembled here and who have made this grand event possible, I invite Dr. S.D. Gopalakrishna Sir, Director, Nagarjuna Group of Institutions, to deliver a vote of thanks. Please welcome him to the round of applause.
Good morning to all. All the dignitaries, they have given wonderful insight into the AI application part. S.S. Iyengar has traveled all the way from Miami to India, to Bangalore. And as it was mentioned earlier, at this age, he is so interested. I don't know how many of the students can take him as a role model. You should take him as a role model and see that you also flourish in life like that. Yay Pitamaha, it's not easy to get a name like that. He has got the tagline, Yay Pitamaha. And we are fortunate to have him as the chief guest of the day to inaugurate this AI Summit. This AI Summit, as it is a regional summit. As our Dr. Swami was mentioning, it is conducted at I think 10 different places, and finally it will be concluded in Delhi with the global summit on February 18th and 19th. This regional summit includes all the stakeholders, I should say, be it the industrial people, be it the researchers, be it the faculty, be it the students, you take anybody, all of them are giving their input. In the one-day summit today, there will be a lot of deliberations on the AI application part and the AI future part, and we are very fortunate to have Dr. S.S. Iyengar as our chief guest. On behalf of the organization and personally, I thank him for extending his support and attending this summit and inaugurating with his inaugural address. Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful and meaningful address. Dr. Swami has travelled all the way from Delhi. I was asking him at what time he started from Delhi. He was telling 3 o'clock he got up and 4 o'clock he took the flight and landed in Bangalore. See, that is the kind of interest and the commitment. See the commitment. See, your sleep, your food, all that is secondary for him. Work is primary. Such a person we have. You have given a lot of input, sir, regarding the funding from the different agencies, be it the Government of India or the AICTE part. The funding and the advantage and the benefits to the student community and the researchers. How they should make use of this. All that input you have given, sir. Wonderful. And in your address, you were also mentioning that we have 50% of the branches as computer-related branches. Sir, it is for your information, out of 780 intake, we have 600 admission in computer science only. It is 80%. So, all computer-related branches, students and the parents are interested in taking that because that is the one which is growing. So, therefore, I thank Dr. Swami for having travelled all the way from Delhi and addressed all of you with the very good input of the funding part. Both are SS. SS Iyengar and Siddhalinga Swami is also SS. Our madam, Banu madam, she takes a lot of interest in all the activities. Her address, wherein she mentioned about the 3 pillars, 3 P's. People, planet and progress. Wonderful, madam. You have given the right insight into the AI application part. Where and how we should concentrate, how the future scope and the research should be, how the students should think. We should also consider our mother earth, which is very, very vital. We cannot leave that. And you have given the right insight. Thank you for all your support in organizing this event as well as making the AI Summit to be a wonderful success here. We will have the deliberation from all the participants, panelists throughout the day, and the output of the deliberations will be given to the final global summit which is going to be held in Delhi. Recently, we had one more hackathon supported by AICTE, supported by Dr. Siddhalinga Swami. On that day also we travelled from Delhi, even office and came here at 8:30, 9 o'clock. All of us were waiting. The valedictory function we held at about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, something like that. All the students and the prize distribution, all that he has attended. The tagline for that was very, very interesting. Hack for Bharat. Hack for Bharat. Build for world. Build for the world. That means whatever summit is taking place here, no, It is all the internal work that our researchers and the industry people, all of them are doing, but the final solution will be used by the entire world. That is the kind of output that our country can give. I think such tagline, such work by AICTE is also to be commended. Thank you, sir, Siddhalinga Swami avare. Thank you very much for the entire support that you are giving. If the AICTE does not give the AI Summit to be held here, we would not have got the opportunity, or the students would not have got the opportunity. Now, from the students' angle, probably in the lighter vein, all these applications, be it the health-minded solution for that, but most importantly, probably in their mind, they will be thinking the question paper. Your question paper probably, if you can give 3 years question paper to AI, if it can predict the 4th year question paper, you will be very happy. Am I right or not? But the answer it will not give in the examination now. It will give otherwise the answer also for that question. But this is the kind of thinking that our creative students will be thinking. Somebody was mentioning about the PUC JEE examination as well. Check for the 3 years paper and then put it in the chat GPT and it will give you the 4th year question paper, the one which is going to come. Can it happen? I think yes, it is going to happen. But then the creativity should be there in designing the question paper as well. The curriculum design, whatever we talk, there also we require a lot of input and intelligence in finding the right kind of curriculum to the students. Anyhow, it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us to have this conference here, to have this summit here. I also thank all the panelists who are going to attend this, particularly Mr. Sridhar, who has all the way come here and will be delivering the keynote address as well as will be guiding the panelists also. Thank you very much, sir, for having come here. The other industrial panelists who are here, I thank all of them for their participation and help in coming out with some kind of success of this summit. I also thank Dr. Tippeswamy and Dr. Lohit for their wonderful initiative and the activity that they have done. For their entire team, they have taken the team together and then they have done that. It is a wonderful exercise what they have executed. I think you need to build in such strength in the department as well and take it forward. I thank all the faculty members and the students also on this occasion. Thank you very much and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your gracious words of appreciation and gratitude. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this, yes, we have come to the end. We conclude the inaugural ceremony of the PAI Summit. Thank you for everyone for your gracious presence, enthusiastic, active participation here, and unwavering support. So now we will be having a photo session. I would like to request all the dignitaries, panelists, respected faculties, and all the heads of the department to join for the photo session, which is being arranged outside. So Dr. Manjunath sir from the Department of AI and ML is going to lead for that. And followed by, we'll be having a high tea and wishing you all a very meaningful, enriching, and inspiring day ahead. Thank you.
Off session. I'm like I'm saying. I'm calm. I mean like video aim shoot out. 1 hour blank video. Yes. 1 hour తర్వాత
1 hour వరకు నీకు బ్లాంక్ వీడియో
ఇప్పుడు 25 minutes బ్రేక్ ఉంది సార్ అంతవరకు బ్లాంక్ వీడియోనే ఉంది ఆరెంజ్ లేక్ always
బ్రో చార్జ్
ఆన్ చూడు ఎంత ఇంకో పవర్ బ్యాంక్ అనదర్
బ్రో అది సీపింగ్ ఎలా అని ఉంది ತಂದಿರೋದು
అనదర్ పవర్ బ్యాంక్ ఇస్ వెరీ సంతోషం
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಫೋನ್ದಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ತಿಂತೀನಿ ಬೇರೆದು ಚಾಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅದೆಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ
వీడియో ఆఫ్ నెక్స్ట్ సెషన్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది సైడ్ ఆ పిల్ల అమ్మాయి వస్తాయి అట్లా మెడిటేషన్ బయట బ్రేక్ అనుకుంటాయి మరి ఇప్పుడు నా దగ్గర ఫుల్ టైం కావాలంటే లైక్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తాను పెద్ద డే టైమింగ్స్ లైక్ కన్ఫర్మ్ పర్టికులర్ టైం దాంట్లో కానీ టైమింగ్స్ మాట్లాడాలి ఈవెంట్స్ అట్లా పర్లేదు ఏమంటే నువ్వు వెళ్ళేటప్పుడు నాకు ముందే చెప్తున్నాను అది నువ్వు మూకగా ఆ ప్లేస్ ప్రతి డే జాన్ 2 నుంచి జాన్ 30 వరకు నీకు డైలీ డే పే ఏం చేయాలా చేస్తాడని మళ్ళీ చెడ్డ సెక్షన్ స్టార్ట్ అయితే ఏం ఇంప్రెషన్ వచ్చింది వీవో ఫోన్ షూట్ చేసాను live.
On there.
No, it is turned off. Just remove the mobile.
Okay.
One second, sir.
Don't do that. AI is going to take our power, and then we will be losing it. And once we lose the power, so then it is difficult. Because it is very small. AI revolutionized all the things. There are really important, good people are sitting together, and they are crafting all of these responses, tools, techniques, and all. So it's a very bright things, but I never thought in my life it is going to go to this level. But in the next 5 years, there is a lot of changes, driverless cars, machines will operate, even planes will operate automatically, except the human-centric and interface will be there. So there are a lot of good things are there. In fact, in my opinion, precision handling is very done with AI. Robotic surgery is very common in America. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. there are a lot of good things. But we have to be little careful also in a way that we use it to the advantage of how and what we can do. The conference ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು is all about that. How to invest human capital to explore AI. ಅದೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So I think this conference is going to be a great conference and I believe a lot of good things will come out.
ಸರ್ AI ತಂತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನದ ಈ ಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಏನು ಕಿವಿ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ ಸರ್ ನೀವು?
ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಅವರು ಭಾಳ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಬರೀ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಚಾಟ್ GPT ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದೇನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ಚಾಟ್ GPT ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ದೇರ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಚಾಟ್ GPT. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಚಾಟ್ GPT ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ರೀಡ್ ಮೈ ಬ್ರೈನ್. ಏನು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಏನು ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ವಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೀರೈಟ್ ರೈಟ್. ಬಟ್ the ability will come very soon based on the face recognition and the camera. The computer can read what I am thinking because there is a chip that I can insert here, so it is communicating. It can think very clearly. So that thinking also it can manipulate because it can give 3 or 4 5 directions to take. Otherly sometimes now human ideas and incorporate ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ it can take us in the wrong direction also. So there are a lot of disadvantages from that point, but more advantages in a way that we should use it, and it is very powerful. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಾನೊಂದು 30 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಅವಾಗ ಅಷ್ಟು ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ I don't need to do those rule program systems because AI can create my own brain and partially put it in a place where it has to use. So it can create all those kind of avatars. But good things are there, and bias also is there because so traditionally black or white, we have a lot of those kind of problems in America, right? But it can also exploit on that, making decisions. So, but that's why the inclusiveness. So women in computing is my favorite thing. I want a lot of people. They are very smart. We can use intelligence and how it can be harvested. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. AI ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಬೇಕೇ.
AI ನಿರುದ್ಯೋಗ ನಿವಾರಣೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೋ ಅಥವಾ
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅದೇ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಭಾಳ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇವಾಗ ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಮೋರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ವೇ. ಏನೇನು AI ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ ಇವರು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಬರ್ದು ತೋರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಪೈಥಾನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಅಂತಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಶುಡ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಹೈ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ will sort of coordinate and I don't say control. It can help AI to do that. But ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಜಾಬ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ we don't need a secretary now because every secretary work is done by AI only because chat GPT, Gemini, so many software tools ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ರೀರೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ we have to use it in a very judicious way also. Otherwise it will do what it wants but not be wanted.
ಎ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿನ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಟ್
ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
ಈ ಥರದ್ದು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಬೇಕಾದ
ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಫೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ನನಗೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರೋ ಏನೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೂ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್. ಯಾರೋ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಡಾನ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೋಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ these hackers ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇವಾಗ ಹ್ಯಾಕಥಾನ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಮ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಟೀಚ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕೌಂಟರ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್. ಇವಾಗ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಫಿನಾಮಿನಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ವೆರಿ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಿಂಗ್ ಟೂಲ್ಸು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗುಡ್. ಅದು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ದೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ದಿ ಹ್ಯಾಕರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. They will be sitting in a remote place. ನನಗೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಲ ಮೈ ಚೇಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅಮೇರಿಕಾ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಸಮ್ವೇರ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅವರು ಥೌಸಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಲರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಿ ವೇರ್ ದಟ್ IP ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವರು ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ IP ಅಡ್ರೆಸಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಟು ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಟೂಲ್ಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹ್ಯಾಕಥಾನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಭಾಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. Cyber security is also a major problem, not only in India, all over the world. And so that is why we have to be very careful when you travel. When you travel, let's say from here to London, stubs iruttala. If the hacker gets hold of it, he will get all the information. Social security number idre, he can get everything. Aadhaar number idre, so he can actually manipulate and get it, and get your passport number, everything. So that is why this authenticity ಇಂತ ಬೇಕು. ಅದೇ ಟೂ authenticity ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, but it is not very efficient. But you need a very cryptographic algorithm. The algorithm that you build, nobody can break it. ಅದೇ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. But there will be some challenges always. But eventually we have to guard ourselves for many of these hacks.
ಸರ್, ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು AI ಪಿತಾಮಹ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ತಮ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ದಾರಿ ಎರೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದ್ದರು. ಫಾರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್?
ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು 55 years ಆಯಿತು. ಬಟ್ ನಂದು ಇದು ಜನ್ಮಭೂಮಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದು ಕರ್ಮಭೂಮಿ. ಅದು 55 years ಇದ್ರೂ ನನ್ನ ಜನ್ಮಭೂಮಿಗೆ ಇದು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಸಿ ಆಲ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್, hundreds and thousands of students have seen this time. CNR ಹೋಗೋದು ಆಲ್ ದ ವೇ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ, ಈಸ್ಟ್, ವೆಸ್ಟ್, every ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ವೈ ಅಂದರೆ ದಿಸ್ has attracted me. My wife, she was always, although she stayed with me for 49 years, after she passed away, she said, you should be more useful to India than any other place. But I am useful to everywhere, but this is my Jalmabhumi, that has an automatic attraction. My children are born and raised there. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅಫಿನಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹೋಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಮೇರಿಕಾ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ, ಇವೊಂದು ಐ ಆಮ್ US citizen, ಹೋಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೋಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್, ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್.
Thanks. Where is it?
Rajesh was.
Yeah, here is. Can you keep charging? It is in orientation is not. They are keeping any snacks by any way. They are keeping any snacks.
I think outside.
Had you eaten the snacks?
No, I haven't.
You crazy bro. From that time we are starting.
Two of girls were asking, and I was saying, if this is my team, they said, will you join your team? I said, yeah, you can join. Mail this. I said, for official things, no. I said,
What the fuck?
I only mail. I think this is not that spin, bro.
No. Sairam. Yeah, I think so.
Here
Like
it is.
Back. He given this only.
How much charge is it?
42. They are putting the pics outside.
Charger is there of Rajesh.
No, Rajesh Boy is using the charger.
That is not it.
I think it's full service.
At least we need them connected. iPhone connected. child.
It's mine. Let it be. Let me ask with Raj itself. Just hold it. Let me clear this. Just cover. Yeah. Yes.
ಉಪಯೋಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ವೇದಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಮಕರಂದನ ಕಾಲೇಜು ಅಂತ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು 2015 ಈ ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳು ಸಹ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿವೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಈಗ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಮೊದಲ ದಿನಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಈಗ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ತುಂಬ ವೈಬ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ವೈಬ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ now this technology innovation can see in every aspect of life. ಈಗ ಆರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಹ್ಯುಮ್ಯಾನಿಟೀಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಷಯ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಗೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ತುಂಬ ಉತ್ತಮ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಏನು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಇವೆ ಅವು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕಾಣಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ 20 ಲಕ್ಷ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ದೇಶ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಮೂಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ದೇಶದ ಮೂಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಭಾರತೀಯರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೂಲಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್. ಈ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈಗ ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಭಾರತ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಮೊದಲನೇ ದೇಶ ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಕಸಿತ ಭಾರತ 2047ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪೂರಕವಾದ ಅವರ ವಾತಾವರಣ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ 2030ರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಕಸಿತ ಭಾರತನ ಕನಸನ್ನು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ನಾವು ಕನಸು ಅಂಡ್ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಆ ಒಂದು ನೆನಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಅವರು ಏನು ವಿಷಯ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅದು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಈಗ 20-25 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಇದು ಈ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಮರ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಈವನ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಅವರದೇ ಅದರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ 2047ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ because of his contribution.
ಪ್ರತಿಭೆಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಡಾಲರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಯಾಕೆ
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕಾರಣಗಳಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬರೀ ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಏನು ಆಪ್ಟಿಮಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅವಕಾಶಗಳಿದೆ, ನಾವು ಬೆಳೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳಿದೆ. ನೀವು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶದ ಕೊರತೆ ಇದೆ ತೋರಿಸಿ. ಬಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂತಿದ್ದವರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳು ಯಾರು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್. ಯು ಆರ್ ಕೇಪಬಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಡೋರ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್. ಒಂದೇ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ನಾನು 25 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ನಾನು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನಗೆ ವೈಟ್ ಕಾಲರ್ ಜಾಬ್ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇವನ್ ಯು ಮೇ ಬಿ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ 20 years back, it doesn't mean that today you are relevant unless you are updated yourself on relevance. So ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ನಿಯಮ, ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯ ನಿಯಮ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಬದಲಾದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ತಕ್ಕನಾಗಿ ಬದಲಾಗಬೇಕು. ಆ ಒಂದು ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗೆ ಏನು ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಈ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರ ಪಾತ್ರ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನದು. ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಟ್ ಸಚ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ರೋಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಏನು ಒಂದು ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನ ಮೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಭವಿಷ್ಯನ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಈ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರಗತಿಯ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕಾಣಿಕೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾರೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಆದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಟೀಚರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 1ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಅವರ್ ನೇಷನ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಸೊ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಸಮಿಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಥೀಮ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. So this is going to have a big impact. The entire world is looking towards India, how we are going to shape it. ಮತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಬೇಕಂತ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಈ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಯಾವ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಸೊ ಅದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ ಅವರ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರವೇಶಗಳನ್ನು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕೊಡೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಿಕಸಿತ ಭಾರತ 2047 is not just a dream, it's a reality. Provided we all
just cover the whole stage.
ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ ಹಿಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡೋದು?
తీసుకునే కదా నువ్వు గ్రూప్ ఫోటో తీసుకున్నావు నాకు ఏ డ్రాప్ చేయవా నేను ಟಕ್ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅದು ಐಎಸ್ ಎಟ್ಟೆಟ್ಟ
ಕಳಿಸಲ್ಲ,
ಬ್ಲರ್ ಆಗೋದು.
ఏ డ్రాప్ తిన్నది సరే నీ దగ్గరే పెట్టు నువ్వు తీసినావు
నేను నీకు పంపిస్తాను.
ఏ డ్రాప్
What did he say?
He said like
Do you have?
send the pics. Hey, where is Rajesh? We need to click that. You be here yourself. Okay, I'll pick this.
Okay, thank you. So, and then, so that's all about this book, and I hope you will get an opportunity to see this book, because this book also talks about program, because that's what we really want. Most of the time what we are really looking is how efficiently we can program. The other thing is, mathematical theories of machine learning. So this machine learning book basically talks about, the foundation of mathematics, AI, logic, optimization, integration of all of those things. So please read it. So one of the things, what we are really looking at this point is, if you look at it, the amount of data that we are generating has grown exponentially now. And there are a lot of diverse technologies have been developed. And so this kind of growth of data is what we use in AI. See, artificial intelligence is all about using data, okay? And the right amount of data. So this poses a lot of challenges when we have large amount of data. Whether it is for law enforcement agencies, when they are doing the forensic analysis, or in cyber crime, or cyber security, everything that we look at it is very, very important. Now, what is the need of the award? The need of the award, I think, I think our civil law has already explained very clearly. I've also given in my inaugural talk, what is the latest technology that we can use for AI and ML? Okay, how do you train? See, that's important. The technology is there. How do you train our faculty, our students, and how do you sort of meet the capacity that is very much needed for the workforce development, educational development, military development, and so on for the country as well. Now, there are a lot of smart devices like Internet of Things we already have. So, what is the Internet of Things? Everybody knows, because it is a collection of devices that collects and exchange data. And these data are capable of sensing, communication. The IoT is also kind of refers to an infrastructure. And example, you can talk about the RFID, cellular communication, the GPS. GPS is one of the major inventions that we can talk about it, and wireless sensors. So if you look at this gamut of Internet of devices, which is so eminent, how and where we need a very secure devices. If I want to communicate to somebody, I want to make sure how secure is that. So how do we train our students? What kind of technology we have to do? And AI of course has been able to sort of a device or something that we can incorporate and that. So how IoT works, let's say for example, RFID to identify and track data things. And then sensors are there to collect data, process the data about the physical structure, then to enhance the power of the network, and by developing processing capabilities, that's where the smart technology, that's where the whole idea of AI comes into picture. Then the nanotechnology is also very important because we want to make some of these AI-enabled devices much smaller. And smaller things may have the ability to do a lot of things and how we interact. So, Internet of Things. You can see education plays a very significant role. So, these are all the things, the education, transportation, business, home, work, other energy, they're all connected together. And with AI, we are using AI technology to connect devices. So, but there are some challenges, the security challenges. So, all these networks, when they are connected, that imposes a lot of security costs of different devices. So, therefore, we need powerful AI technology to minimize this kind of attack. But how do we sort of train people? What kind of policies that we want in all these things? So if you look at the estimated number of installed IoT devices per sector, and home, you can see that the government infrastructure, and you can see how it is continuously increasing and the billions of devices. So what is it happen? That means you have a large amount of data, and the data which are completely uncontrolled data. So that's why the IoT sector has grown. So the corresponding AI technology also has grown. So what are these security threats? Just to give you an idea, privacy and security is very important. Default on hardware credentials, firmware, lack of vendor, web interface vulnerability, open source, error encoding, and then distributed denial of service attacks, and then of course physical stuff. So you can see just with these millions of devices which are all kind of interconnected, with all the examples I gave you, these pose different threats. An example of cybersecurity threats is IoT devices. Nowadays you see that cyber criminals are everywhere, they are hiding, or they could attack, malware, and so the question is, what kind of abilities we have? So we have some, AI technology to do that, but that is also kind of not very sure, because they can hack using the AI devices also, they can mask it. So this is kind of frightening and very dangerous. So it's a very substantial risk for the whole country and the world. So these are not deep consequences, and therefore it is very, very important. So what are the challenges and gaps we have in the current capability? So the fast technology is changing, okay? And international evidence transfer, cloud storage. Now, what are the relevant standards? So, for example, National Institute of Standards and Technology in the United States, they control and have certain policies. For educational policies they have policies for companies. So, for these security concerns, how that can be enforced. So there are some of the relevant standards we have, but again, that's not working because AI is going far beyond that. So the cyber physical challenges of the drone and its systems. For example, about 5 or 6 years back, somebody designed a beautiful drone and it is kind of flying inside the White House, in the lawn of the White House. See, the White House is a very secure place. But how did that happen? So the same problem they have been able to use some of the technology. So lack of any of these features in the context of forensic, like killing switches, doing something in a remote control way, and data integrity may not be possible with all of these kind of things. So there are lots of these things. There is a gap between the technology that is growing and so what happens with the $50 billion machine becomes connected. So you have an industrial impact, factory, logistics problem, and shipment visibility, hospital data, and all talking in the context of data, real-time network planning, so connected machines. Now, with all these things, now a crucial component is education. What policies that we can do with AI, which is very, very critical when you have even a best machine-based policy. So, artificial intelligence is not magic. Everybody thinks it's magic. No, it is driven by mathematics. It is driven by optimization. It is driven with doing algorithms like we design. So that's why the power of that is growing very fast. So the foundation of any of these algorithms rests on 3 different algorithms. One, gradient descent algorithm. This is a very powerful algorithm we designed. So imagine a blindfolded hiker is trying to reach the bottom of the valley. Each small step brings them closer. So the key idea is, in all these AI models, they have to adjust parameters to minimize the error when you reach the valley, the data. So you also want the neural network model to learn from mistakes by optimizing weights. So what I'm trying to say is, we do that with our human brain. So what we are trying to do is to mimic the human brain. So when we make a mistake, we learn it, we correct it, and then we present the answer. So without that, AI system wouldn't know how to improve over time. Okay? So back propagation. Now, after making a prediction on anything, the back propagation is to understand how long it went. So the key idea is create a continuous feedback. Okay? You start to predict, then you compare, and then you correct. So this is the loop which essentially mimics the human brain. The human brain also learns, right? So I meet a gentleman here, he tells me there is something needs to be done. I understand it and I provide a solution, then it will be able to refine an understanding through feedback. Okay? So this is the so together, the back propagation and transformer future how to think, all of those things basically becomes the foundation of AI. So this is what the AI system we are talking. So one is the gradient descent, understanding how to learn, and then how to correct it, and then providing an architecture to learn. So the role of IoT in the context of digital forensics, like we have a lot of data, how do I sort of, actually do using AI algorithms. There is a lot of data which are not relevant also. How do you take it? How do you sort of becoming, connected data points in your network? Then we use what are called as a machine learning model for obtaining patterns. Because all of these data show some patterns. And these patterns are very important. So machine learning algorithms or AI learning algorithms, it can learn from historical data, okay? Recognizing trends in cyber threats. So that's why we always look at the profile of a person who is hacking the system. So natural language processing. So anytime when a hacker hacks a system, he scribbles something. And that scribbling is what enables AI to see and analyze the text and helps and gives valuable information. He may write in a very disjointed and disconnected form, but the AI, as I said, it can bring all of this information together and connect by itself. So this is basically the role. So intelligence evidence model, which is very, very important. This gives an investigative process. Then you have AI-powered networks, then smart control system. So security threat and stuff. So we are interested in providing solutions today. Now, the next thing is how best you can acquire the data. That is what we call the real-time data. So when once you have the data, how do you sort of take, the relevancy from the data? So there are small, smart and intelligent media types. You can get lots of data from phone, your iPhone, a digital media players, and game consoles. So do not think that people do not have data. So if you you want to know more about Professor Aida, you just go to your Google and ask there in the Google, how famous is Professor Aida. You will see how the Google has assembled all the data about me, that I was born, when I went to America, and so on. All of these using small, intelligent data processing. The efficient data volumes, you have massive amounts of data, but AI can separate what is relevant and not relevant. And that is the beauty of many of these AI algorithms. So research and education, very important. Because this is very, very critical for AI powered forensics, cyber forensics, and all of these things. Because how do we train our students? How do we train our faculty? How do we train our workforce? I mean, this is not just in India. All over the world, this is a problem of having lack of trained professionals in many of these devices. So the question is how efficiently we can do it. So if you look at so much of data that is coming, and improved efficiency is very important. For example, how you automate verification tasks, rapid response is needed. In some cases, if there is a flight from Bangalore to Delhi, if something happens right in the middle, there is a rapid response needs to be done in many of these kind of things. So what are the top IoT trends for 2025? Smart cities. Because I think even our Prime Minister Modi was talking about developing smart cities. With the help of IoT, smart cities and AI will expand into every part of the place where it can provide the support. Smart homes, is different. In the United States, I am sure it is coming here also. When I enter my house, automatically the lights, the sensor lights will go on. And then he says, good morning, good afternoon, what can I do for you, the temperature, all Internet of Things smart home. Then there are what are called as blockchain technology, trending in the blockchain by IoT sphere. This is also important, and it is a $1 billion industry. Sensor innovation, what kind of sensors are important, how do you sort of use it with a significant structure, then artificial intelligence. There are so many things which we can do with AI. So there is a 14.2 billion connected things are there. How do you sort of connect and make use of all these devices in a way that you are able to get a lot of good information? And then we also look at IoT metadata and will become important. And then the last one is the healthcare. You know, nowadays I'm sure in India too. In the United States, everything is automated. You know, the doctor comes to me for 5 minutes. You know, he looks at the end of when once he has all the data. So this kind of growth of AI and how it has automated, how it has been able to look at it, and so the doctor looks at it and finally says, well, we are looking at the data, there is something what he says, or everything is good. So you only spend 5 minutes by looking at the data. And it also points what data things need to be done for future. So healthcare is one of the most important things for AI, which has actually sort of used all over the world. So there are a lot of legal issues too, okay? Because some of the identified legal categories like constitutional law, okay? Property law, contract law, cyber crime, cyber law. So how do you sort of handle this, you know, some of these using AI techniques? Okay? And the secondary, legal issue is international law. Every country is different in their constitution and so on. So you don't have one AI framework model. So it depends on each of these countries. So towards protecting modern society and kind of pursuing the cyber criminals, the call for action in the United States is continuous research is done. So in this university, I think they have to create a center of excellence with all of the other universities surrounding, and the collaborations are very important, and a lot of cyber threats, and ensuring the effectiveness of AI-powered digital forensics. So the idea here is not only of creating the center, the interesting thing is how you are kind of propagating to our students in here. Because every student should be taught in a way that they can use efficiently and at the same time following some of the legal things and effectively with AI. If you don't do that, then I think AI will take control of everything. So AI is going to play a very significant role, and that's why the United States Congress is coming up with some policies. I mean, in the United States, they can't tell anybody don't do it. They are coming up with policies and guidelines to see how effectively AI can be used to help, and the power in terms of how the tools can be used effectively in teaching. So future innovations and emerging technology, quantum. So quantum computing is very important, data sharing is important, and because the reason is, in many of these applications, you have large amount of data, billions of bytes of information. So you need a very high performance computer, and that high performance computer essentially produces all the algorithms, and they are able to do it in real time. So these are important both in the context of teaching, and again, I'm trying to see how best that can be done. So blockchain and other cutting-edge technologies is that. So this is basically what I wanted to tell you in terms of the digital forensics, but there is a lot of issues people are asking during the last maybe couple of hours. And what are the issues I would like to share? So they were asking me how, for example, AI can surpass human intelligence. So the interesting way I would like to answer in that is, AI is very powerful now, okay? Now, powerful enough to come up with some sort of guidelines for the execution of these software tools, okay? Now, these guidelines are not just done by the computer companies or a group of people, but it has to be decided upon based on the societal needs, okay, for different types of applications and so on and so forth. Now, the other question people are asking basically is AI going to take away our jobs? No, AI is not going to take away our jobs. I think, just like in olden days, remember when we had computers, and I don't know whether you remember, first thing when I was going to engineering college, we used to have slide rules. The slide rules, it's a way of computing and doing things. That was. Then at about 1968, they were telling, if the computer starts coming, we lose our job. No. Then the computer started coming with IBM, small computers, desktop, and so on. And there are a lot of softwares have been developed. And not in the context of AI now we are talking, but that is not. So the only way, what we have done in those days is change the way in which we teach our students. So put more emphasis on programming and how exactly they can actually simulate and see how, for example, they are able to integrate good logic, mathematics, optimization into the program. So we did that. And then the next phase was in 1982, a small amount of, I was in America, expert systems came. These are rule-based systems. So one example I can give you, in 1984, US Army office, US Naval office came to my office and said, there are a lot of satellite data. Satellite data, in terabytes, and they said they would like to process the data. Can you come up with some sort of, a mechanism? That's what we call it, a rule-based system. And essentially, it is a kind of a nice programmatic framework, AI framework, but not to the extent like what we are talking. In 1989, so we developed. So what they were doing was, they were actually trying to see were there any submarines. In those days, the confrontation between the United States and Russia was too much. So they were always afraid of these submarines going underwater. So they collected a lot of data and they wanted to process the data. So we were able to produce and generate all of those things very efficiently. And eventually we told them there is some submarine type object is going, but we don't know what it is. So that was in 1980. So in 1993, slowly people were beginning to talk about the development of logical programs using traditional AI. Okay? So the traditional basic AI is, we have defined a problem, and how based on the data, there were two people by name Hopfield at the California Institute of Technology. He came up with the idea of what is called a neural network. So the neural network idea is, our brain produces 1.5 billion neurons when you are young. It generates every day. We produce and connect ourselves with what is called a neural network. So the neural network is a beautiful way of modeling human brain. So, but what happened was, the Professor Hopfield, he also used some associative memories to connect our neural network, and then he was able to sort of show that is almost identical to the human brain. Then Jeffrey Hinton from University of Toronto, Princeton University also, he developed what are called as Boltzmann machines to authenticate every one of these data that is used is a correct data and it is used for prediction. As I said, the foundation, you correct it, predict it, and then again correct it if the data is not good. So this is my, so in 2023, Hopfield and Jeffrey Hinton, they got a Nobel Prize. That is the first time they have given Nobel Prize to computer science, because computer science does not come in the future of Nobel Prize. So, but unfortunately for them, they were in the physics department. So they used the physics department to get a Nobel Prize. So now this year, again, the Nobel Prize was awarded to another set of chemists, physicists, to do what is called as protein coding problem. So when you do design, drug design, for for Alzheimer's, your insulin, you always try to use what are called as protein in a three-dimensional problem, and they are trying to come up with a design in the So we were part of that problem. So if you look at it, many of these things I did in 1970. 1999. I mean, all these Nobel Prizes they got in recently, but it took some time. And many of them, they used my idea. So, but what I'm trying to say is, the whole idea of taking these kinds of data, when both of them got the Nobel Prize, then the importance and the of AI became very critical now. So now, Google and then Amazon, they have all developed the quantum computers so that they can process large amounts of data in very short time. So what I'm trying to say is, when you have these data, so when you say AI, it's all data, nothing more than that data. But sometimes we have to isolate the data and find out. Now sometimes for some applications, I may not have much data. Then I use neural network module to data, right? So they came up with a language called Python. And June, this university also is teaching Python.